not happen in most parts of the country, including Nairobi City County. There seems to be a systematic interference of the process with the aim of denying certain members of the public, especially in Nairobi, the opportunity to engage in this noble national duty. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek the statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the following. 1. Could the chair management is taking to ensure that NYS recruitment is transparent, fair, and conducted at the ward level, especially in Nairobi County, to avail maximum opportunity to all interested youth. Number 2, could the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection and the Budget and Appropriation Committee take measures to ensure that operation of NYS are carried out in utmost fidelity to the law and consider withholding funding to the NYS either through supplementary budget or through the 2024-2025 estimates, unless proper measures are put in place to address members' concern. Number 3, could the chairperson elaborate measures being taken to ensure that the ministry does not exploit the provision of Article 223 of the Constitution to access funds for NYS recruitment and operations, noting that NYS has been used as a conduit to soften public money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while I want to appreciate and thank the member of Embakasi Central, I will also just to add on, Mr. Speaker. You see, when you look at Nairobi with 17 constituencies, I would wish they also explain to us how it normally ends up. 17 constituencies can go on one day and do their recruitment, all of them together. How do you end up now showing us a list, or is it possible for the chair now to bring us the list and show each constituency how many of our young people were recruited, based that in every constituency across the country, Mr. Speaker, there is a number that is taken per constituency. And did it just go to one constituency? How do you ensure each constituency benefits like any other constituency, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you, Mwenje.
Thank you, Chair, and I want to support my colleague from Embakasi Central. Honorable Speaker, in Nairobi, our constituencies are quite close to one another. By taking us to one single venue creates a disadvantage, because that means it is impossible to determine where you will get, how you will be able to determine which person comes from which ward, Honorable Speaker. It is important that we follow the criteria. The criteria that was given by the CS is a very good criteria, but it would have been fair if we involved even use of the voter identity, the voter register, to determine where somebody comes from. A second issue, Honorable Speaker, which we'll also need to the chair of the committee to note, is that when I got my ID card, I was in secondary school, somewhere in Kikuyu, actually in Alliance. I know you never know, some of us went there. So my ID will not read that I'm from Embakasi. I got it when I was in high school. So what happened, Honorable Speaker, is that people who had ID cards that were reading Moranga, Nyeri, were being told to go away and go to where they got the ID. That's a very unfair system, Honorable Speaker, because those people got the IDs there, but they live and reside here in Nairobi. So these are some of the details that need to be addressed, and I'm hoping that when the chair comes to respond on this issue, they'll be able to give us a good explanation and be able to show us, and we must insist that the voter register is used in Nairobi to determine the number of beneficiaries from each ward as per the list given by the CS. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Who is the chairman of this committee? Is it Karemba or Alice Nganga? Pardon? Go ahead, I'll give you 1 minute.
Asking for permission indirectly. Honorable Speaker, you know, the issues being raised by Honorable Major Dog and Honorable Mwenji are very weighty, those issues. Because Nairobi, for instance, just like Kisumu, Mombasa, wherever, belong to everybody. Yes, when you find yourself staying in Kisumu city, it doesn't matter where you are born or where you got your ID card from. Likewise, when you live in Embakasi East or West or Central, it doesn't matter where you are born or where you got your ID card from. So therefore, these cosmopolitan areas, indeed everywhere in Kenya, really. I can actually live in Kikuyu village. Yes, you can come and live in my own village of Sidindi, in Ogonja. It doesn't matter where you are born. And therefore, this criteria of choosing or asking where one was born is not only unfair, it's actually unconstitutional. Yes, it has to be revisited. And I think the chair of the committee, it behoves him to move with speed and come back with proper answers to these issues, these questions being raised. And if possible,
the minute is over.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The point is made.
Honorable Watch, 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and also join my colleagues in supporting this statement. And as they look at this statement, I hope that this committee will be able to broaden, not just on NYS, but on other recruitments in the forces. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the manner in which the recruitment has been centralized in one place, it is intended to create chaos, choreographed chaos, where we then disenfranchise the 17 constituencies of Nairobi County, which contribute an inordinate amount of the GDP in this country. There is a maxim that there can be no taxation without representation. This representation is not only about representation in parliament, it is representation in the states, recruitment and other things. Devolution has also been put in place to ensure we devolve services. Why would we centralize at Nyayo Stadium 17 constituencies coming from Mathare to the other side of Dagoretti? This issue must be looked at so that the young people of Nairobi are given their fair share of recruitment in these services. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Mandazi.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. And equally, from my constituency, I have 2 regions. Unlike about the towns and the cities, Chepalungu constituency has 2 regions in terms of politically, some regions are in Chepalungu, and administratively, some regions that lie towards Bomet town are in Bomet Central and East. And subsequently, some are disadvantaged. They are normally told to go back to Bomet Central. When they go to Bomet Central, they are told to go back to Sigor. Actually, Speaker, we should be looking not at the ID, but at the person who is gone there to be interviewed for that particular discipline. I want to support my colleagues. Actually, it discriminates the youth who are going there to look for jobs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Last, KJ.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And I also thank you, the honorable member for Embakasi, for bringing this to the Mr. Speaker, when we devolved with the new in East and Central Africa, you are disenfranchising an extremely big country, knowing how big it is in terms of population, but also in terms of its contribution to the GDP, its fair share
Thank you.
of the
from